Hey, mighty historians. It is Monday, April 13th. As of right now at 10:30 in the morning, you are opening up Google Classroom and you are seeing what today will bring in terms of studying history. I hope that you guys had the best spring break, doing who knows what in quarantine by yourself, but I do hope it was a really good, relaxing, refreshing, rejuvenating um, spring break, and that you are ready to get in back to school and get things done. Today we have a couple things. I'm just gonna go through a couple things. I'm looking at my computer just so I don't forget, which I will. And then I want to share with you just my spring break and what I did, because it was like I hope for you, relaxing and refreshing, and ready to come back and kind of get the school year done. Okay, so the first thing, quote of the day, and our quote is, and we've done this one before, but I think it's such a good one for us, and it is, "You are never too important to be nice to people." And you know what? I think that's just a beautiful reality of us as humans, is that we might think we're important, but you will never be that important where you can't be nice to someone. And that's someone of any shape, size, job, location, home, whatever. And that's a sign of a beautiful person, is that they are nice to everyone that they meet. And I hope that you are practicing that at home, and doing that well with your siblings and your parents and your grandparents and whoever else is at home. And yeah, so there we go. Today in history, some cool things. In 1598, the Edict of Nantes, as I say, or Nantes, which allowed, it was in France, which allowed the Protestants to live and practice their Christian faith in a Catholic France. And later, that would be taken away, and many Protestants would be killed. There we go, for their faith. In 1860, the first Pony Express reaches Sacramento, which is kind of cool. Um, and then in 1861, the United States Civil War started with the attack on, or the Battle of Fort Sumter. So there we go. Okay, so to spring break. Um, I hope that you guys had the best, and you can see Chewy behind me, which we'll get to Chewy later. I hope you guys had the best spring break. Last year, it was an amazing spring break. I went with Coach Garcia and Coach Conrad to, we spent primarily our time in France, but we also went to London, and we took about 20 kids and a couple parents with us, and we just had the best time, traveling, seeing things we had never seen. I had been out of the country once before. I spent 3 weeks in Israel, which I just loved, but it had always been a dream to go to Europe. I have spent, about 10 years teaching European history, and it was a dream come true to set foot in Europe. And I loved almost every minute of it. Actually, pretty much every minute. Maybe, no, I didn't like the food. We didn't eat at the best places, but hey. So we flew to France, flew to Paris, and I think the thing that was just so astounding, the first place we went to, like literally got off the plane, got on a bus, and we went to the Cathedral of Notre Dame. And you see pictures, you hear, stories of just these historic places, and it's mind blowing that you are standing in front of Notre Dame there. And so we took a tour, and then we, just this is just kind of a side note, but when we got back about a week later is when it burned. So it felt very, I felt very privileged to go and to see something so historic before something tragic happened to it. And we'll see what happens with that. But we spent most of our time in France. I'm still trying to figure out how to use the phone. And we really just had about 2 days in England, and for me, that was the highlight of. I mean, it was a historic trip, absolutely, but it was a highlight. And so this spring break, we only had 2 days in London last year, and when you're on these student tours, a lot of what you do is you just like, oh look, the Eiffel Tower. Oh, that's nice. Okay, 30 seconds there, and you drive off and go, oh look, there's that. Oh look, there's the Tower Bridge. Oh look, there's Big Ben. And so you really don't have much time. I mean, we had like an hour in the Louvre. And I'm like in the Louvre. I'm like, how do you spend just an hour? Like, it takes just an hour to get to the Mona Lisa, much less all these amazing, incredible historical pieces, art, just amazing. So, this spring break, I decided I was going to go to London. I was going to spend some time in London, but then we had the coronavirus and you can't travel. And to be honest, I really wasn't going to go to like actually travel to London. So what I brought London home to me, and two of the places, there's two of the places that we just drove by, and it was literally like, oh look, there's Big Ben. Oh look, there's the Tower Bridge, and you literally just turn your head, and oh yeah, there it is, and like 10 seconds later, you're gone. So, best thing ever. Grew up. When I was growing up, I loved Legos. Still have all my Legos from when I was a kid. And so I had bought, when we went into quarantine, into distance learning, I decided, I'm going to do something therapeutic for myself. And so I bought two big Lego packages or projects, one of Big Ben, excuse me, and one of Tower Bridge. And so over spring break, I had already finished Big Ben, and I had worked on it over about 3 weeks. But then over break, I took the Tower Bridge and I put that together. So I want to show you just my little accomplishment of what I did. Is very therapeutic, and it just brought so much joy just remembering all the things I did as a kid in terms of Legos and all that, and I just loved it. And plus being able to build something historic. Now I don't have a clue what I'm going to do with it because my house is not overly big, and I don't know where I'm going to put them. Probably take them apart and put them back in the box for another decade, and then put them together then. So, but I wanted to show you because it was so cool, and we've talked about London, and we've talked about just history, Europe, in all three of the classes that I teach. So I just wanted to show you and just how cool it was, and I just loved putting them together. And what I hope is you will comment below of what you did over spring break. So I'm going to flip you around. And I don't know, it's not going to be a perfect flip because one, I'm not overly talented in flipping the phone around. So bear with me, just smile and like, oh, nice. And we'll move on. Okay. And so here we go. Okay. So I'm going to show you the Tower Bridge first. And I just love, someone's walking by my house, just love that was able to put it together. So here you go. Now, maybe this way is better, and I can just like scan. So I have it on my coffee table, which is super big, and it took up a ton of space. And just so you know, that is not London Bridge. London Bridge is a completely different bridge. It's often confused for London Bridge, but it's not London Bridge. It's Tower Bridge. And you can see, if you can see the little cars, which were so much fun to, do. And there's a double-decker bus. And I think that's a police car over there on the left. And then there's a little, like, a truck. But they don't call them trucks in England. They're called lorries. So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to move over. And I had wanted to do the Big Ben Lego for many years, just because it's so cool. So cool. And then the Tower Bridge was so cool too. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so I'm going to show you the Big Ben. And when we were in London, the Big Ben Tower, the Elizabeth Tower is what it's called, was covered in scaffolding. And they were redoing it and renovating it. So it was like all we saw was this tower of scaffolding, and you could see the clock, but you really saw nothing. And again, it was just a drive by, like, oh, look, there it is. So I got to spend a few days with Big Ben putting it together and just had a blast. It was so much fun. Okay, so here you go and enjoy, and then I'll flip your back around and we'll go from there. Okay, so there you are. Okay, so there's Big Ben. Actually, Big Ben is the bell in the tower. Okay, and those are the Houses of Parliament, as you can see. I think you can see. I hope you can see. And it was just so much fun putting it together, and just had a great time doing it. So anyway, hope that you had a great spring break, and hope that you can write below, comment below of what you did over spring break, because one of the first things that I would have done in class is ask you all, what'd you do over spring break? And I want to know. And it could be boring, like, hey, I slept in every day. Actually, that's not boring. But, it could be whatever. I binged this. I walked around the park. Whatever you did, just comment below. So you guys go have a great first day back. We can do this. We can do this. We can absolutely do this. And just know that myself and your other teachers, we are walking this road with you. Okay, so you guys go have a great day. As they say in England, cheerio. I don't know why, but cheerio. Go have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow on another YouTube. And I think tomorrow I'm going to show you my mask. Yeah, tune in tomorrow. You guys go have a great day. See you later.